Thanks, Denny, and welcome back to Investing with Confidence, sponsored by Online Trading Academy. And Online Trading Academy has been teaching people just like you, actually on their 25th year, how to trade options, stocks, futures, Forex, whether you're trading them on the income side of things, the income potential, or retirement, 401ks, IRAs. And by the way, you can manage your 401k or IRA. You don't have to have a broker. You just have to have a self-directed account. And we're going to talk more about that here coming up in this next section. But if you happen to miss tickets for this investing class that we're doing virtually, coming right to your home, you can just go to otamin.com. That's OTAMINN.com, or just nice and easy, just text the word invest to the number 484848 for this virtual class, 45 minutes. When you do that, you'll get a text back with that same link, otamin.com. And as promised, the number 2 rule of success is actually trust yourself. And some of these techniques and strategies that we're talking about, they're not new. They're just different. So you have to follow your gut, trust your instinct, and do different things if you want different results. And that's what we're going to talk about here, Al, is people are looking for different results in their retirement accounts. I've talked to a lot of people, a lot of friends lately, and they have 401ks with, their work and all that stuff, or especially IRAs with advisors. And they're like, you know what? The market's been soaring all-time highs, and they say, you know what? I thought I would have had a better return than this. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what a lot of our listeners are thinking too is, hey, why haven't our accounts done the same thing? And there's a lot of reasons why that's happening, why average investors kind of get the short end of the stick in the return section. So let's talk about that. Why does most or the average investor that has 401ks, IRAs that are being managed by somebody, why are they not getting the same return as the market is producing?
Well, there are a number of reasons. Before I go into that, I just want to comment on one thing. We started talking about the core strategy. That is the same investment strategy, foundational strategy that you use no matter what you invest or trade. And what we've done with core is we've identified a number of rules, a number of steps that are based on rules that you follow. This is going to simplify things and take the overthinking out of it and the over fear that your gut is going to bring into your trading decisions. So the core strategy is the most important thing. You mentioned the word trust. That was your word
Trust
here
yourself.
for the lesson. Yeah. Well, you trust yourself when you become confident in what you're doing. And that's what we do. And the name of the show is Investing with Confidence. That is the goal with all of our students, is to teach them how to address the markets, how to benefit or participate with confidence. Again, knowing that you have the potential to get the maximum amount of profit and also the minimum amount of loss if you lose. And it doesn't make any difference who is controlling your money. There will be losses. Nobody is right 100% of the time. That's one of the reasons that the public doesn't do as well as Wall Street, because Wall Street knows how to protect their assets. And that's the number one thing that we want to teach our students. Know how to protect what you have so you never have a big loss. But the number one thing that really I think is the differentiating factor between the pros and the public, the amateurs, is fees. It's the cost of whatever you have your money invested in. If you have a 401k, you're probably paying money to a mutual fund manager. You're paying money to the plan sponsor. Those fees, anywhere from 2 to maybe 5%, can have a huge impact on what you could have over the course of your working years. First of all, those fees are being taken out no matter what's happening to the market, but you are in a position, in a portfolio position, that only gives you the opportunity to benefit if the market goes up. But the market doesn't always go up. Now, we've had a long bull run here, and as I mentioned in the first segment, with the highly valued stocks right now, any kind of a blip is going to be punished significantly, as we have seen in this last week. So fees are a huge part of it. The way you eliminate fees is to self-direct your IRA or your 401ks. Roll your 401k into an IRA, a self-directed IRA. Anytime you leave a company, you have the opportunity to take that money with you. It's your money. You can roll it into something that you manage. You're already making all of the decisions in that employer-sponsored plan, yet you're paying somebody else basically for the right for you to make your own decisions. You're not getting any help or guidance there. So in a self-directed IRA, you're in the same position. You are managing the assets there, but we're going to help teach you how to do that. teach you which assets to use. And in a self-directed IRA, you can trade. If you want to trade mutual funds, you can. We would not recommend that, but you can trade stock. You can trade the futures market, the options market, the foreign exchange market. You can participate when the market is going down, which it eventually will. I mean, we've gone through numerous corrections over the course of the years, numerous bear markets. It's a natural part of these markets. Sometimes they get overbought. Sometimes they get oversold. There's going to be that movement. We see things with inflation, with potential stagnation, all of these things that impact the markets. You don't have to let the markets whipsaw you. You can have assets or strategies that will allow you to participate all three directions. And then also, what about protecting your assets? If you work 30 or 40 years, how do you feel if all of a sudden 10, 20, 30, 50, 60, 70% of your assets are gone? They just disappear. They didn't really disappear. They just went into somebody else's account. You can protect your assets so that doesn't happen to you.
Yeah, and the fact of the matter is, Al, there's so much opportunity in these markets. These are great markets for investors to be in. And you brought up a couple of great points. Is people, you're at risk of the market right now, but I think a lot of people that are listening right now probably just aren't 100% comfortable managing their portfolios. So you have to do things a little bit differently. You have to learn it, right?
Right.
Trading and investing, especially in anything that you do, it's a learned skill. Think about anything you've ever learned in the past.
Right.
You learned how to do it, and then you just did it, and it was consistency. It's one of those C's. It's consistency. But you got to be comfortable. And you were mentioning some different new terms and stuff like that. A lot of investors are wanting to get into Bitcoin ETFs right now because there's available ETF for your retirement accounts. Well, you have to understand how to do that, but that's a great thing with these investing classes, Al, that we do right here in Bloomington. We also have these virtual for our listeners, and they're about 45 minutes. They're super easy to get into. We have several per day, actually, mornings, afternoons, in the evenings. I believe we're even running these on Sunday.
Right.
So if you're listening right now, you can actually get into this investing class tomorrow. And that's where you can start to hopefully make better investing decisions right away. Learn more about the different techniques, the concepts that the institutions are using, and trade like them. But you got to be comfortable. So just text the word invest to the number 484848 for this investing class virtually. We also do these here in Bloomington. So if you like physical hands-on, you can do that as well. Or just go to otamin.com. That's otaminn.com. When you do that, we're going to give you a financial quick start kit, which will help you get started right away. I've been talking with a lot of people that come to these investing classes in Bloomington, and they want more control. They want to control what they have. They feel like they don't know what's happening with their money, so that's why they do nothing. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going on with it, so I'm just going to let it sit there, right? But you know what? There's more and more people understanding, hey, I need to take control of that. How do you help people become more comfortable controlling what they have?
Well, it gets down to understanding how the markets function and learning a foundational strategy, an investment strategy that is going to increase your opportunity to be successful, increase the potential profits that you can have, and reduce the potential loss that could be experienced. Those are the things that are important. And it doesn't make any difference what you're trading or investing. The same things are important to you. And that core strategy that we teach our students does exactly that. It's a number of steps you follow that get you to the point where it gives you a score, actually, as to how high quality a trade is, or if it happens to be something that is going to be negative to you. It violates any of the parameters that are unique to your personality and your goals and your aspirations.
Well, think about how much more comfortable that'll help you make you feel when you have something guiding you through your process from home.
Yeah, and telling you if it's a bad trade for you with an alert telling you that. That's a strategy,
but
or
also
a platform.
telling you if it's a good trade as well.
Well, that's what I mean by the score. It gives you a quality score telling you whether this is something that would be beneficial to you. If it's not, it gives you an alert. That's our Click platform. It's a trading analysis platform that our students use. But here, another reason that a lot of people are not performing as well as the market is that there's an assumption that all of the stocks are doing well. When you see the NASDAQ, the Dow, and the S&P 500 up at records, people think everything is going up. That's not the case. There's almost always just a handful of stocks that move any one of those indexes. If you look at the S&P 500, for example, over 91% of the stocks in the S&P 500 have been down 10% or more.
Mm-hmm.
So what that means is that you have to be a little more careful about the assets that you, or the stocks, the individual investments that you choose, and it's easier for our students because we show them how to kind of piggyback what the big institutions are doing.
Yeah.
Reading, you mentioned a price chart. A price chart basically tells you everything that you need to know about a company. And what we're doing, when Josh mentioned earlier, we anticipate where the price is going to move. We're not just guessing. We're actually choosing a price point where we know there's a high probability price is going to move there because of the way the institutions have to use and because of the law of supply and demand.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, that not all stocks are up all the time. I mean, that's where in these investing classes we begin that process of how to find the right stocks. A lot of people just, if you're listening right now and you don't know how to find the right stocks to trade, these virtual investing classes start you down that process to learn that. But I've actually been having a lot of conversations with people that are coming into these virtual or these investing classes here in Bloomington, and they're planning to retire, but they're now seeing returns that just aren't quite enough. And they don't want to be that 60-year-old, 65-year-old and not have enough to retire. So they want to be able to protect what they have, but they need to boost it. They need to understand what are the right assets to do that. In these investing classes, we cover those assets. What are the right assets to utilize proper leverage, maximize your capital that you do have to have the potential to have enough during retirement. So just text the word invest to the number 484848 for one of these investing classes. We do them virtual. The nice thing is we can come right to your home virtually. Or you can go to otamin.com. That's the link that we're going to text back to you, otaminn.com. This investing class, as I said, it's 45 minutes. If you want to do it in person, just call 952-814-4410. We do these during the week, but also on the weekend, 952-814-4410. And as promised, the number 3 rule of success is to associate yourself with successful and like-minded people. Boy, that's a tongue twister. Online Trading Academy has different groups that are, making decisions together, instructors, many years of experience in the financial markets. Associate with the right ones to make better investing decisions. Coming up next, Al, I want to talk more about that plan you've been talking about, how to have a strategic investing plan. 952-814-4410. We'll be right back. All right. I don't know. Welcome back to Investing with Confidence. As always, I am your host, Joshua David, and we are having fun here today. It's a brisk morning here in Bloomington, 38 degrees. But you know what? It is hot in studio, and that stock market is also hot. But you know what else is hot, Al? Cryptocurrencies. That is
Hmm.
on fire. But Al, if you look at the price chart, coming down from those all-time highs right now, so some more buying opportunities potentially for people.
Right.
And that is what we talk about. That is what we teach at Online Trading Academy, is how to utilize price charts to make smart investing decisions and do that comfortably with confidence. If you need help with making smarter investing decisions, we do these investing classes every single day virtually. You can just text the word invest to the number 484848. You're going to receive a link back, which is actually otamin.com. That's OTAMINN.com. Just pick a date for one of these classes, virtually 45 minutes, nice and easy. You can do them from the comfort of your lazy boy. Maybe during the football game tomorrow. Actually, no Vikings, I don't think, tomorrow. It must be a bye week.
It's a bye week.
When you actually get set up for this class, we're going to give you the financial quick start kit. If you're brand new or not sure how the markets work, that'll actually help you get started right away. And how you get started, Al, is how I ended that last segment, is by having a financial plan. It's a personal financial blueprint, right? Where are you at right now? Where do you want to go? Every business has a business plan, what they're going to be doing, how they're going to get there, and the steps within there. The same thing in investing and trading. You have to have a plan on how to make smart investing decisions. And I was actually teaching a class last week, and we were talking a little bit about financial freedom. And that looks a little bit different for each person, but everybody is striving for that. But some people just aren't on track, or they don't know the right steps to get there. So let's talk about some of those steps. What are some of those steps to have a personal financial plan to make smart investing decisions within your retirement accounts?
Yeah, well, the first step really is coming into one of these classes, and then we can work with you. We can sit down with you and talk about what your goals are. Where are you now? Where do you want to be? And how you get there may be totally different for you than it is for somebody else. And that's the important thing, is to be able to identify what is right for you. How are you going to get from where you are now to where you want to be in 2 years or 5 years or 10 years or 20 years? How you do that most effectively and most efficiently. That's part of a plan. That should be part of your statement, your goals in that plan. But the plan also includes several things. It includes the use of that core strategy that we talked about, a rules-based strategy that you're going to use no matter what you are investing in, what your time horizon is. This is one way of kind of simplifying things, and by taking your thinking out of it, because you're probably not as experienced as somebody who worked on the floor of the board of the Chicago Board of Options or the Chicago Mercantile Exchange for 25 or 30 years. These are the guys that put together this core strategy. And if you follow those steps, it really just takes you down again to that point where, yeah, this is a good trade, or no, this is not a good trade. That's what helps you to develop the confidence. But how would you also like to be able to not be successful the majority of the time, but still be profitable? You can lose as much as 75% of the time and still just break even if you know what you're doing, if you have the right reward to risk ratio. And that is the most important thing. What we show our students, and this is being conservative, is how to look at a potential trade that has the potential for a minimum of a 3-to-1 reward to risk ratio.
It's just maximizing your capital and utilizing the right ratios. That way you don't have to be right all the time, which is all it is.
And that's the key. You do not have to be right. In most professions, you have to be right the majority of the time to be
What if
successful.
you're a weatherman?
You don't have to be right. You don't even have to show up.
Nothing against weathermen,
But
but you know what?
how about a pilot
It's
or a
educated
surgeon?
guesses, right?
Yeah, those guys have a plan that they follow that they know works because of their experience. So that's part of the plan. But the other thing that should be part of your plan is the correct asset for you to use. Which is the right one? Is it stock? Is it the futures market? Is it the foreign exchange market or the options market, or a combination of those? Those are things that, first of all, you need to identify and then get the education knowing how to use them with the core strategy.
And just as Al was explaining, with the right asset to be in, you want to do that within your retirement accounts as well. In these investing classes, we cover the right assets to be into. And when we say assets, that's either the right stocks, the different options positions. Maybe you're in futures contracts or in some currencies, right?
Sure.
So it's how to be properly diversified and just doing that with more consistency. And that's what it's all about is consistency, but you need that consistent strategy for these great volatile markets. This volatility that we're seeing right now is phenomenal for retail investors. It's the institutions are moving these markets. And as we kind of talked about this whole show, is how to find that institutional order flow, which is buying and selling on a price chart and anticipating where they're doing that. And that's the great thing about our strategy is it's designed to teach you to follow those institutions. So if you want to text the word invest to the number 484848 for this investing class to learn more about being in the right assets in your retirement accounts, you're going to receive a text back with a link. That link is actually otamin.com. That's OTAMINN.com. So if you want to do that, see if you're at your computer, just do that now. But when you get set up for one of these classes virtually or even here in Bloomington, you're going to receive a financial quick start kit to help you get started right away. There's actually some cryptocurrency foundations courses in there. So if you want to learn more about cryptocurrency, that's also in that quick start kit. Now, Al, we talk to a lot of people and they say, well, how much time does it take to trade and invest? Well, you know what? How much time does it take you to put your shoes on? You dictate that, right? You can do it quickly or it can take a while, right? So that's why you need a strategy that's designed to basically make your investments based on the time that you do have, because I'm assuming most of our listeners work during the day.
Great.
Talk real quick. I know we're getting close to the end of the show here. Give me a couple steps on placing a trade and how quickly that can actually happen.
Well, the number one thing, again, is to identify the right price.
Okay.
And by knowing how to identify that on a price chart, read a price chart, which is what we teach you, very much like a radiologist reads an x-ray. We teach you how to read a price chart so you can identify, number one, where is a big institution? Where are they being active? Because that's who you want to follow. The best trade that is possible is going to be at the turning point in price. What causes that turn in price? It's institutional activity.
What's another step?
Big smart money. And then it's being able to place a trade. That's where our core strategy and our Click platform comes in. This Click platform is going to take you down all of the steps that you need to go through to place a trade, to make sure you're protected, and to make sure you have a profit target identified that's a realistic target, again, based on where the institutions are now getting out of a position. So it's anticipating based on something that we know is more than likely going to happen based on what the institutions are showing us.
And what's that final step?
The final step is to place a trade.
Exactly. It's just clicking the button.
That's actually
Remember,
that's true.
everything right now is all electronic. So if you have a finger and if you have a mouse or a mouse pad on a computer, that is how you place that trade. And as Al is talking about these nice and quick, easy steps, it's following those steps. But that's what we teach you. That's what we start to walk you down that path in these investing classes that we do virtually. We do these in our center in Bloomington as well. Actually, Al teaches these. I mean, these are phenomenal classes to learn about the markets, stocks, options, futures, Forex, how to make smart investing decisions. But you know what? You can't do that if you don't do anything. You got to take action.
Correct.
That action, basically, all you got to do is text. If you have a phone, text the word invest to the number 484848. When you do that, you'll get a link back. I'm going to walk you through this. That link has a text back. That link is otamin.com. So if you're at your computer, just go to otamin.com. That's otaminn.com. And that'll get you into our webpage. And then you can select a couple dates. We have several per day, actually. If you're in center, if you want to come into the Bloomington office, we have them on Wednesdays. We have these on Saturdays as well. And Al teaches these, I teach it as well. And we walk you through those steps to get into investments, how to pick the right stocks. What are some of the stocks you can get into? And by the way, if you have questions about the markets, bring these questions here in. Even in these virtual classes are actually live. So we're coming to your home virtually, and these are live classes. So bring any questions that you have. Say, hey, I have a 401k, but I just don't know what I can do with that. Bring that in. We can walk you through those steps if you want to self-direct, as we were talking about in the third segment. If you want more control of your accounts, how to do that is basically just being more comfortable and saying, you know what, now is the time, because there's no better time than now. Markets are phenomenal, great opportunities. So just call 952-814-4410 if you want to come right here in Bloomington. When you do that, we're going to give you a financial quick start kit. In this kit, there'll be some steps and topics to help you get started right away. Al, we've had a lot of great content today. We had a lot of people text in, and looks like a few just go straight to the website, make it easy. So there's been a lot of tips today. Let's hear that OTA tip of the week.
Well, you mentioned time, and now is the right time to do something. What we found is that the majority of the Online Trading Academy students wish they would have started earlier. You can avoid having to say that by starting now. So a lot of you might be thinking that you've missed out on the big opportunities and it's too late. Well, look, we're in a global economic environment that's going to provide many, many more of these big opportunities. There's always going to be a bull market somewhere. Don't worry about not being successful all the time either. You don't have to be. You won't be successful 100% of the time, but if you don't try, you will be unsuccessful 100% of the time.
Yeah, doing nothing is that definition of poor, passing over opportunities regularly. If you've listened to the show and you haven't called in or texted in, you've passed over an opportunity. Well, guess what? That first step is yours. Text the word invest to the number 484848 or call 952-814-4410. Same time, same place next week. Until then, retire young, my friends.